Well, we're off and running. It's a new week and a new weekend upon us. Hard to believe, in a way, October is coming to a close. But before the month ends, we've got another round of the Stronach 5. And welcome aboard, everybody. Jason Blewett joining you from our XBTV studios at beautiful Gulfstream Park. And it's all things Stronach 5 here on this preview show over the next 20 minutes or so. And bombs away, how about we take a trip back? And this has been a weekly rite of passage. They bet just under six figures in last Friday's pool, and one lucky person had a pair of 20-to-1 winning upsetters and walked away with almost $90,000. Do keep in mind, though, if no one has all five winners here in the Stronach 5, this wager does carry over to the next week. Do keep that in mind, but 88 G's plus, good stuff there. Now, moving ahead, it's so easy to get involved. Gulfstream Park West hosts the first leg, race number 7, with a post time of 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's it. Walk up to the window, hop on your favorite ADW, and just punch away. Gulfstream Park West, race number 7, this coming Friday, October 26th. And about an hour and 20 minutes, give or take, from the start of this October 26th Stronach 5 to the final leg, which will be out at Golden Gate Fields. The only non-turf race in the sequence, by the way, with a scheduled post time of about 5:50, give or take, Eastern, out there in Albany, California. And again, we make it as easy as ever to get involved. Gulfstream Park West, race number 7, the opening leg. And if you want to play, and we hope you do, you're probably going to have to put your thinking caps on, because it's a tough sequence. We've got about 54 pre-scratch entries scattered throughout the sequence. That averages over 10 horses a race, and you can get those free pass performances over at GulfstreamPark.com. And again, I think everybody in this day and age, horse players that is, most of us are price sensitive. You just can't beat the 12% takeout, and you saw that 12% first and foremost with that near $90,000 score last Friday in the Stronach 5. And we'll see the pool, 50 G's, pretty nice chunk of money. Forget Mega Millions and Powerball. The Stronach 5 on this October 26th is where it's at. And again, we're covering the entire country. We've got 4 tracks, 5 races, and how about this all-star cast? Our little Stronach 5 crew here on our XBTV preview show. We've got our ears close to the ground with Michelle, bottom left there out at Santa Anita, my buddy Ron Nicoletti at GPW, the man Stan up at Laurel Park, and of course Matt Dinnerman, the voice and face of the action out at Golden Gate Fields. Trips all over the country, so many furlongs and many frequent flyer miles to be obtained over the next few minutes here on the broadcast. Now, our first stop, needless to say, is lovely and glorious Miami Gardens. It is Gulfstream Park West, round number 1, leg number 1, race number 7, Friday afternoon. And boy, oh boy, speaking of thinking caps, as we go to Ron Nicoletti, you better be ready to use a bunch here, Ronnie, I think, in this opening leg, as we've got some 2-year-olds on the turf.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. It's an interesting race to start off the Stronach 5. It's leg A, and it's a 5-furlong turf event, sprint for $20,000 2-year-old maiden claimers. Let's take a look at the field, and you'll see the field here. There is 10 in the body of the race, and there's 4 also eligibles. My selections in the race are the 1, the 2, and then 2, 1, and the 9, excuse me, but 1, 2, 9 as you see it on the board. But my top pick in this particular race is the number 2 horse, and that's Come On Venezuela. And this one, if you look at this horse, has taken money in both his previous starts. We're going to go back and look at his last race. Well, prior to his last race, you're going to see he's a little rambunctious at the start, and you'll see him just go up in the air. And he comes out of the gate. He breaks okay, but it looks like he didn't have his mind on business at the start. So he goes up, and he breaks okay. Now he's sitting there, and he's stuck behind the pace setter in that race, and they go these tepid fractions of 25-1 and 51-3 as they're going up. And he's just in this position behind there. And you can see he's sort of like bogged down down behind. Now he comes to the stretch and he finishes an even fifth against this same level of competition, but that was going a mile. I think the turn back to 5 furlongs, the fact that he took some money, I think he's got a pretty good shot in this race. I think he's the 2-1 morning line favorite. Now we're going to go back. A couple other horses I threw on the ticket. One is Hollywood Overdogs, interesting name. Dropping to this 20 level. He broke slowly. He rushed up. If you go look at his last race, went up on the inside, then backed up. Think maybe he has a shot. You're getting Paco Lopez. So it looks like this horse is going to be on the pace this afternoon. If he can hold, I don't know. And I closed it out with VJ, who's really taken a big drop from maiden special weight to maiden claiming for Antonio Santos. So for me, it was 2, 1, and 9 in the opening leg of the Stronach 5.
Well, thanks very much, Ronnie. So the big man, Ron Nicoletti, inside and obviously outside using the 9 VJ. I love that young sire, Cairo Prince, who does have a horse in the race in the 7th at GPW. That is VJ for trainer Antonio Sano. What do you say we hop on a plane, won't cost you anything, and we head out to the great race place? I'm talking Santa Anita Park, the pride of Southern California. Our own Michelle Yu is trackside, and we'll keep it going here on the preview show. We've got some 3-and-up fillies and mares, Michelle, ready to knock heads in a good-looking maiden special weight.
I'm glad you mentioned free too, Jason, because it is free here on Fridays if you want to come out to the track, and also $2 beers. So it's a great way to spend happy hour out here. Race number 3, like you said, going to be maidens going a route on the grass, and I used 3 horses in here: the 4 Sutro, the 6 Ways Ready, as well as the 9 Dearborn. My top pick is going to be Sutro and Dearborn are actually coming out of a like race in Del Mar earlier on this year. And what you didn't see is Dearborn, who's on the front with the big white face, had pretty much everything her own way for the majority of the race. Sutro, on the other hand, was kind of in between horses and really needed a lot of encouragement to get going. I think she gets a little bit intimidated there on the rail by the horse that came in between, Don't Blame Judy, that actually won the race. But Dearborn had no excuses. So while I felt like Sutro can really move forward, Dearborn has had a race since and still finished 3rd. And again, if you go back and watch that race, she had no excuse that day either. So she's done the exact same thing, going a route, going short on 2 different grass courses where she's had everything that she wanted. And at the end, even though she's been in front, she's been passed. So for me, she's not a single situation because of that. I wouldn't talk you off of her because she's obviously going to win a race one of these days, but she just needs, it seems like, a really well-timed ride or the perfect situation for her. She is getting the hood on today, which I like because I hope it helps her focus a little bit earlier. She runs with her head kind of high and she's a little gawky, but coming down the lane when those horses are passing her, I'm not sure how the blinkers are going to affect it. She's already not re-rallying, so with the blinkers on where she can't see him, I just don't know how that's going to hurt or help her, which is why I put Sutro on top. She also gets Mike Smith's services. Obviously, Money Mike Smith, he's always in there for the win. The other horse that I like is the 6 Ways Ready for Leo Powell. This horse actually debuted maiden 40 and ran 4th, so obviously going to be stepping up to maiden special weight here. But you take a look at that pedigree by More Than Ready out of an El Prado mare. That just screams turf route. So I think here with that 1 start under her belt, she can move forward coming on the lawn for the first time.
Good stuff from Michelle, and she might be a price Ways Ready. People will see, of course, the knee-jerk reaction, maiden 40 up to special weight, and a deep field at that. But More Than Ready, El Prado, Michelle right on the money. That is a serious turf pedigree for a horse that should be a pretty nice price. And speaking of turf, we're on the grass again. Leg number 3, back home to where I stand in southern Florida. We're going back over to Miami Gardens, in fact. For race number 8 on the Friday program at Gulfstream Park West, we bring on Ronnie again, and another big field, in fact, rolling from the get-go, Ronnie. This is a bulky field running and gunning on the turf at 5 furlongs, and a good-sized field at that.
Thanks, Jason. The leg C of the Stronach 5 is a 5 furlong turf allowance optional claimer. These are for state-bred 3-year-olds and upward. Let's take a look at that field. A pretty good field. There's 10 in the body of the race with that 1 also eligible. And my top pick, and I went with actually with the 3, 7, 3, and 10. And my top pick is the number 7, and that is Green Mansions. Want to go back and show you the stretch run of this horse last time. I thought it was rather impressive. This horse just seemed to grind it out. Now you see he is coming through the stretch, and the horse that he takes over is Silver Wings Raven, who's the favorite that afternoon. I just thought it was a good performance. Now this horse hasn't run since June, but Stanley Gold, the trainer, has this horse working exceptionally well, and one of those works, 46-3, the best of 57 runners at the distance. That's out of the gate. And the pace figures I put together, I think this horse has the chance to be not coming off the pace, but right next to the pace or even on the pace in that particular race. So that was my thought process with Green Mansion. So now I also put the 3 Canteros Image on my ticket. This one from the Steve Clisaris barn. Edgar Zayas, our leading rider in the saddle. This horse just grinds it out. I think he could run okay in there. And I really respect this barn with horses going 5 furlongs. And the other one, Harry's Gone Gray. He's a one-run type. One of these days, he's going to jump up and win one of these races. I like the connections with Herman Walensky. So Green Mansion's off that maiden win in June, Canteros Image, and maybe a little Harry's Gone Gray on my ticket for the Stronach 5.
Yeah, the pace, Ronnie, normally very important. In fact, you might argue it's always the most important variable going in, and that race has no shortage of early speed. Might get some serious hitting for both Harry's Gone Gray and Canteros Image there for white-hot trader Steve Clisaris. More turf coming your way. In fact, in leg number 4, this will be the last of 4 consecutive grass races, and needless to say, as we head on up to Maryland City, Maryland, joining Stan Salter at Laurel Park, we've got another bulky field, and Stan, I see your top pick, who you can talk about, one of my old buddies, a horse very much well-traveled in the 8-year-old Brickyard Kitten.
Yeah, he's a real nice 8-year-old son of Kitten's Joy. He's made over $250,000. He's really found a nice new home here on the Laurel grass, and that's where he is for Laurel Park Race 10. That's going to be the 4th leg of the Stronach 5 this week. A real nice group of 8,000 starter allowance runners, 3 and up. We're going a flat mile on the Kelso turf course. The rail will be at 35 feet, and Brickyard Kitten, he's won 3 in a row. He's won 4 of his last 5. 4 wins and 1 second from 5 starts on the Laurel grass. Here's his last win, July 29th on a good turf course against 7,500 starter allowance company. It was 11 lengths out of it down the backstretch in this race. He comes with a nice rally under jockey Alex Cintron, who's been aboard for these last 3 wins, and Cintron back aboard this Friday for Kieran McGee. Brickyard Kitten, he's in top form right now. McGee having a strong fall meet, hitting at 31% winners right now. Don't worry about the near 3-month layoff for this horse. This horse has been entered 2 or 3 times on the turf. Races came off the turf, and so he scratched because the race came off the turf. I'm not worried about the layoff at all. He had a couple maintenance works over there at Pimlico for Kieran McGee. He doesn't work his horses that fast in the morning. Brickyard Kitten is the class of the field. I have him on top as my best bet in race 10. There's 2 others, though, and Brickyard Kitten's your 5-2 morning line favored. The other 2 favorites in this race is 6 Silver Dagger at 3-1 and the 7 Primetime Man at 3-1. I think you have to use both those runners. Silver Dagger's never run on the Laurel grass, but a very good form on the Delaware turf. Earlier this fall, Trevor McCarthy rides his 6-year-old for trainer Jamie Ness. A nice win against Allowance Company, 3 back at Delaware. And then got an 81 Buyer speed figure, 2 back on a good turf course at Delaware. So Silver Dagger, I think you must use for top connections. My prediction for the turf condition this Friday on the Kelso turf course, I'm saying it'll be somewhere between good and firm. That's my prediction. No rain this week, but still we've had a lot of moisture in that turf. So somewhere between good and firm will be the turf condition. The 7 Primetime Man, I think you have to use as well. A 2-time winner on the Laurel grass, Georgie Vargas Jr. aboard for Kieran McGee. So the 6, 7, 9, I think you must use. If you can afford a more expensive ticket and you're looking for a live long shot, the 2 Feel Proud for trainer Dorothy Wharton, a 3-time winner on the Laurel grass. You get Horacio Caramanos. If Dorothy can get this horse back into his best form, I think he'll get a nice ground-saving trip and be a factor at a big price. But they all have to beat the 9 Brickyard Kitten, looking for his 4th win in a row on the Laurel grass.
And thanks, Stan. Love those old-time geldings, and Brickyard Kitten about as tough as they come. Well, last but certainly not least, Golden Gate Fields, the cash-out leg, Friday's 5th race out in Albany, California, the pride of Northern Cali. We've got track announcer and racing analyst Matt Dinnerman joining us right on the apron. I'm a little jealous there of that spot you're hanging out in, Matt. What do you got for us as we end the sequence with a big field of 2-year-olds?
Well, the weather behind me foreshadowing that we are going to have more good weather throughout the week, and we've got a really good race to end the Stronach 5 wager. This goes as race number 5, a maiden special weight for 2-year-olds. They're going 1 mile here, a full field, and we've had 2 prices in the only 2 times we've had the 5 wager featured at Golden Gate Field, so why not go with a price this time? Number 4, Luck Is My Name, the top pick. This horse is actually a full sibling to one Lucky Dane, who is a very talented colt from the Bob Baffert barn that hit the board in the Santa Anita Derby. Luck Is My Name comes off a 3rd place finish sprinting on September 9th, and we're going to take a look at his stretch run right here. Nothing special about this stretch run. He was down on the inside, looked like a horse to me that might have needed the race. Trainer Ed Moger Jr. doesn't typically get his horses really ready to roll first time out, and he trains this colt by looking at Lucky. The final 16th, you'll see Irving Orozco, who was aboard that day, really didn't persevere with this horse. He was simply 3rd best. I think that was a learning experience for him. I like the fact now that this horse, Luck Is My Name, is going to be able to go longer. His breeding says he can go longer, and of course, being the sibling to one Lucky Dane, that supports that thought. And I think Luck Is My Name at 8-1 is a big chance for the Ed Moger Jr. stable. Showed some tactical speed in the sprint, so should be in it from the word go. Luck Is My Name, 8-1, my top pick in here. Number 3, Yak, is a runner you probably want to use from the Keith DeSormo barn. Shipping up north from down south, this horse comes off an off-the-board finish, lost by 8 lengths at the main special weight level at Santa Anita. Here's the thing, though. This horse finished 8 lengths behind Dueling, who we see in the pre-entries this morning, actually, in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. This horse is obviously facing a lot easier now coming up here. I like the fact that this horse showed speed last time out and faced, because that tells me this horse has tactical speed. In his past 2 races before then, he didn't show any speed. So this horse has got some tactability to him. I think Julian Coutan, who rides this horse, can pretty much put him anywhere he sees fit. And facing easier up here, Yak, I think, is one you have to use as well in the Stronach 5 wager. We're going towards the outside as my 3rd pick, Ernest, another one coming from Southern California. He's been up here in Northern California for trainer O.J. Harrigy, and Ernest was purchased for $120,000 as a yearling at Keeneland. Now, I actually spoke to trainer O.J. Harrigy before this horse ran his first start, and he told me this horse is going to improve with experience. The first 2 times, he probably won't be at his best. Moving forward, going long, this horse is going to get better. We've seen 2 races from his first start wasn't all that bad at Santa Rosa. He came back at Los Alamitos and ran a decent 3rd that day. He was well beaten, but here's the thing. His speed figure was higher than in his debut, so he's got that pattern to where he's probably running a little bit faster as he's getting older. Maybe 3rd start in the form cycle, this horse can put it all together for Juan Hernandez, one of the top riders here at Golden Gate Fields on to ride. So those are my 3 picks. Really a wide open race here. We've got a few others. Legendary Knight, who doesn't scream pedigree when you look at his form and you look and you see that this horse probably, in terms of pedigree, might want have distance limitations, I should say. But Legendary Knight has 4 winning route siblings, so this horse might be able to go long for Tim McCann, who's very good with 2-year-olds. And we've also got another Keith DeSormo runner here named Sooner Better. Ran poorly here at Golden Gate first out, has a ton of route pedigree, is now going a mile for his 2nd lifetime start. Ones to consider, but I'm going to go with a price. Luck Is My Name, number 4 at 8-1, my top pick in the last leg of the Stronach 5 wager.
All right, and that's a wrap there with Matt out there at Golden Gate Fields. We started with the babies, and that's the way it's going to end on the synthetic with Friday's 5th at GGF. Here is what we'll call our little homestretch recap. Nice, easy little flow chart here. Some 1, 2, 3s, some picks, and race recaps. And again, we'll have our All-Star ticket coming up next. And the only rule, got to keep it below a $100 bill. This one clocks in at 72 even. We have not had a sequence thus far where we felt comfortable with the single. So we have a minimum of 2 horses a race, obviously a 3-bagger to start at GPW and Santa Anita in legs 1 and 2. Once again, tough sequence, fun sequence, 54 pre-scratch entries, free pass performances over at Gulfstreampark.com. Those will be up sometime Wednesday afternoon. Definitely take a look and download them. You're going to need to burn the midnight oil a little bit, but you'll be rewarded unquestionably. And again, a 12% takeout over 5 races. Really, really love pounding that 12% takeout home. And again, GPW, race number 7 this coming Friday, October 26th. A little pre-Halloween trick-or-treat, if you will, and I hope it's a treat when the final leg is hung official. That'll do it. We covered a lot of ground, many furlongs. Best of luck this coming October 26th in the Stronach 5, and we'll see you next time right here from our XBTV studios at Gulfstream Park.